Hello, Ramneek. Can you hear me?
You're mute.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Ramneek, am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Loud and clear?
Yes,
How are you, Ramneek?
sir. I am good.
Ramneek, introduce yourself.
Sir, I am Ramneek Goutam from town Charthawal of district Muzaffar Nagar. Sir, I have done my schooling from town itself, and then I moved to district Muzaffar Nagar for my intermediate and graduation. And sir, thereafter I started preparation for civil services. And sir, this is my first attempt.
Hmm. Ramneek, highlight three important values that define your personality.
Sir, there are many values that I found that are crucial aspect of my personality. But if you say three values, sir, they would be empathy, perseverance, and strength.
If you have to make a choice between empathy and compassion, what will you choose?
Sir, I would choose. I think that both are interlinked, sir. There cannot be a extreme choice like they are not poles apart. But
Which is a higher value, empathy or compassion?
sir, I think both are necessary. We cannot say higher or lower because empathy has a element of compassion. They are not very distinct, sir. There is a fine distinction between them.
Okay. Ramneek, according to you, what are the major challenges faced by farmers in Muzaffarnagar?
Sir, particularly in Muzaffarnagar, there are many challenges that farmers are facing nowadays. Sir, after the Green Revolution of 1970s, sugarcane came to be a dominating crop in the region.
Hmm.
And sir, now groundwater depletion is a very big challenge for the
Hmm.
farmer. And due
Hmm.
to that, sir, we have to put submersible pumps in the well, and that
Hmm.
is making input cost higher.
Hmm.
Fertilizer cost is higher. So, sir, that
Hmm.
is making farming unviable
Hmm.
apart from many factors.
Hmm.
Like as generations are into the farming, then
Hmm.
land size is also getting smaller and smaller with generations. Climate change is
Okay.
also affecting farming. Sir, in the last rainy season, the rain
Hmm.
was very severe. Due to
Hmm.
that, many crop bear a huge loss.
Hmm. Ramneek, you have highlighted your father's profession as agriculture.
Yes.
Have you ever helped your father in farming?
Sir, actually, my father says that you should focus completely on studies, and
Hmm.
he has never asked me to work with him, but many times I have worked with him. Like nowadays, sugarcane harvesting is going on, and
Hmm.
work is very much burdensome.
Hmm.
So that in loading the carts of sugarcane, I have helped him.
Hmm. Ramneek, you have done bachelor's in BSc, and your subjects were mathematics, computer application, statistics.
Yes, sir.
Yet you have opted for political science and international relations as your optional subject. Why didn't you choose mathematics?
Actually, I graduated in 2018,
Hmm.
and when I started preparation for civil services, sir, I got a
Hmm.
new exposure when I started
Hmm.
reading subjects of general studies.
Hmm.
And sir, when I looked into it, then political science and international relations offered me a greater diversity and a greater analysis.
Hmm.
Also, it overlapped with the syllabus of general studies. So, sir, I found
Hmm.
it interesting and
Hmm.
efficient to read political science and international relations.
Who is your favorite political philosopher?
Sir, many political philosophers and ideas are there that I found interesting. But if I have to say favorite political philosopher, sir, then it would be in Indian political philosophy, it would be Sri Aurobindo Ghosh.
And in Western political philosophy?
Sir, in Western political philosophy, it would be Karl Marx.
Karl Marx. Okay. Can you highlight some ideas of Karl Marx which have lost their relevance today in a globalized world?
Sir, actually, what modern thinkers are doing, many Marxists, so sir, they keep changing the vocabulary, but as per my personal opinion, there are many ideas that have lost its relevance. Like
Mm,
Marx talks about class struggle. So, sir,
mm,
in today's world, the extreme class struggle and extreme polarization of class, as Marx has talked about, has not come.
mm,
And society is also cooperating in many senses. So, there is
mm,
no struggle everywhere. First
mm,
point that I would say, sir.
mm,
Secondly, sir, the Marx has told frequently that state is only executive committee of capitalism. But
mm,
in today's modern world, we see that with the emergence of welfare state,
mm,
Marxist predictions have come not quite correct. So, sir,
mm,
these two or three ideas I think that have lost a little bit of
mm,
relevance or have
mm.
they have modernized a bit.
Do you support the communist methodology to acquire power?
Sir, Marx has famously remarked that violence is the midwife of change.
Mm,
But sir, I do not believe in that
mm,
method of capturing power.
mm,
Because sir, violence is not an answer.
mm,
Especially sir, in Indian context, we have
mm,
seen as a diverse country and
mm,
a long history of national movement that
mm,
non-violence can be a viable option in
mm,
the long run.
mm. Okay. You talked about the role of state in the modern world, especially you mentioned welfare state. Define state without using any technical vocabulary.
Sir, if I do not use the technical vocabulary, sir, state would be an agency that legislates, adjudicates, and enforces, sir.
Mm,
In context of welfare state, sir, dimension is added that they are making provisions for the welfare of the population.
mm,
That was not inherent in the classical theory, like conventional theory, but that
mm,
is highlighted in the welfare theory that state has an additional
mm,
responsibility to provide
mm,
for the material well-being of the people.
mm. Can you highlight the different types of republics?
Sir, can you please clarify a bit? I mean,
Like, say, for example, India is a democratic republic. Can you highlight other types of republic?
sir, currently I am unable to.
I was going through your DAF, and what has caught my attention is that you have left the entries of prizes, medals, scholarships, sports, NCC, position of distinction, leadership held in school, college vacant. So it gives an impression as if you have lived your entire life within a shell. Do you think that kind of a person would be an asset in the civil services?
Sir, actually, as far as these entries are concerned, as I come from a rural background, so sir, that type of exposure I could not gain. Or sir, where
Mm,
that available, I could not encash upon those opportunities due to certain
mm,
factors. So
mm,
sir, due to the and I found that whatever I am, I should
mm,
present myself as it is. And
mm,
sir, these entries are as per my best knowledge. And sir, as far as civil services is concerned, civil
mm,
services, civil services requires certain foundational qualities
mm,
such as courage, perseverance, empathy, compassion. So, sir,
Hmm.
as per my knowledge, I have these qualities
Hmm.
and I can prove myself if opportunities is given. With the sense of service, I have applied for this job, sir.
Hmm. But Ramneek, I hope you are also aware about the demands of modern day administration. And one such key demand is to work in a team where you have to engage yourself with multiple stakeholders. They could be subordinates, political leaders, people, NGOs, civil society organizations, self help groups, and even corporates. So I am amazed how you will do that. Have you ever done anything where you have worked with multiple stakeholders?
Actually, sir, my hobbies are diary writing and yogasan. So, sir,
Hmm.
I do yogasan with a quite a diverse group. Like
Hmm.
I'm doing yogasan with a child of 10 years of age and another
Hmm.
group like 70 years
Hmm.
of age. So,
Hmm.
sir, due to that, I am socializing as well.
Okay.
I am doing yoga and
Hmm.
I pursue yoga as a means of social exposure,
Hmm.
like socializing myself and interchanging ideas,
Hmm.
communicating with diverse sections of society, like
Hmm.
with children, with colleagues, with
Hmm.
adults. Every section of society is there doing yoga.
Hmm.
So, sir, I think that I can do that with hobbies section.
You said that your hobbies are practicing yoga and diary writing.
Yes, sir.
Well, I respect your right to privacy and I'm not interested into the details of your diary writing, but I'm
Yes.
keen to know what is the overall content. It means what type of contents do you include in your diary?
But actually, I have been changing my tactics, if I would say, of writing diary. When I
Hmm.
started diary writing, I started it just as a means of encoding events as they
Hmm.
happen in my personal life or
Hmm.
in society as they are happening. But
Hmm.
sir, along with time, I have evolved a little bit, and I have come to see that these recording these events is helpful for me. And sir, during preparation, I found preparation very stressful, sir, I would say.
Hmm.
And the writing diary helped me that
Hmm.
I was overcoming daily challenges
Hmm.
that were there. So, sir,
Hmm.
when I look back at the diary, that was a sort of inspiration for me.
Hmm. So
And
while you are in the process of diary writing, how do you ensure that the information that you're filling in your diary is objectively assessed?
so actually, I I have a process. In a week, I sit and study my diary of
Hmm.
previous,
Hmm.
and I try to objectively assess that how
Hmm.
was the week, how
Hmm.
productive it was.
Hmm.
So, sir, I think objectivity is ensured if we have aim very clear, like I have to study for this duration and
Hmm.
this topics. So, sir, with that broader aspect in my mind, I objectively assess my diary.
Hmm. Do you recall an incident from your life where your ethics were challenged or you had to face crisis of conscience?
Sir, I think there was a there was a dilemma in which I found myself nearly 1.5 years ago. Sir, a beggar visited us,
Hmm.
and sir, my grandmother was very keen to help him,
Hmm.
but I was not very keen to help him because he was he was in his youth and he
Hmm.
was still begging.
Hmm.
I told him clearly that you should not beg. And
Hmm.
but sir, there was a dilemma.
Hmm.
According to my grandmother, I had to give him. But according to my ethic, what I have read in books, a youth should work.
Hmm.
But, sir, so that was the dilemma that I found myself in.
Hmm. Okay. Ramnik, one last question from my side. Suppose you get selected
Yes, sir.
and you are appointed to a backward district as the district collector. And you see that in that district, there is a culture of muscle men who influence perhaps every aspect of life.
Yes, sir.
What strategies will you follow to completely destroy that culture?
Sir, first of all, intelligence gathering should be done, like
Hmm.
noting the movement of these type of people who may be a problem for the administration, law and order. Sir, secondly, what should be done is the activities of those musclemen should be, I mean, the law and order should be applied severely. And sir, as the region is a backward one, we have to raise awareness about the welfare provisions of the government, about the accessibility of officers for the people, about the education. So, sir, people come to see administration as their friend,
Hmm.
not as something outsider. Because, sir, I have seen in newspaper that in those type of regions where Muslim hold strong forts, the people are alienated from the administration many a times. So, sir,
Hmm.
we have to eliminate that alienation, and we should ensure that people are working along with the administration to uproot those
Hmm.
musclemen and whatever problem they are creating.
Hmm.
So, sir, it should be a comprehensive approach
Thank
from.
you, Ravi.
Ramneek, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Ramneek, you have a wonderful and beautiful name. Tell me, what is the meaning of this name that you have, Ramneek?
Sir, Ramnik means beautiful, sir.
Okay. And you also have a wonderful date of birth. What am I reminded of when I talk about your birth date?
Sir, 5th October 1999.
Yes.
Sir, actually, I am not aware of this, sir.
No. What is 5th of October celebrated in India as? Are you not aware?
Sorry, sir. I am not aware of this, sir.
5th of October is celebrated in India as the Teachers' Day, if you are aware, if you remember.
Yes, sir.
And now that I have told you, can you tell me why is it celebrated as the Teachers' Day?
Sir, it is celebrated as Teachers' Day because it was the birthday of Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan.
Okay, good. Just now you said the values that you exhibit, empathy, perseverance, and strength, right? So tell me, what are the three strengths that you have?
Sir, my key strengths are that I can look at a situation from many aspects. I can express myself if there is a situation which demands action, and even if situations are at odds, I can persevere in those situations. So these are some of the strengths that I.
Okay, wonderful. In that case, tell me also of three weaknesses that you have apart from these strengths.
Sir, as usual, I have many weaknesses as well. But, sir, there are certain weaknesses that I have highlighted over time. Sir, first is I have been thinking for a long time to learn swimming. But, sir, that plan is being procrastinated due to like some pretext of studying, and like routine was very busy and I could not manage to bring time up for that. So, sir, procrastination is my first weakness. Second was, sir, I was struggling with maintaining consistency in studies. So, sir, consistency was my challenge. The third weakness, if I have to highlight, is that I have sometimes in doing of work, I have ignored my family as well. Like they keep telling that you should work, 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 and I am working, working, and working. So due to that, I think I have lost some family time. But sir, with the diary writing and these weaknesses have been highlighted, I am working on them.
You just now said your family has been insisting on you to study, study, and work and work. Tell
Yes.
me, when did you decide to join the civil service, and
Sir,
why did you decide to join the civil service?
sir, after my graduation, I was keen to join army, but sir, due to my eyesight got weakened and I could not manage to pass my medicals. After that, sir, I thought to prepare for a government job and I found that opportunity quite as per my personality traits. I matched that in civil services. So, sir, since then I am preparing mentally for this job post graduation, sir.
Tell me three of those traits that you are talking about, which will make it impossible for the team to select you.
Sir, impossible.
Yeah, for the team to say no to you.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Sir, first is as I have already highlighted, sir, empathy. Sir,
Okay.
empathy moves me to work. Empathy is sometimes my source of inspiration as well. Secondly, sir, I think I also have a dedication to my work, sir. Whatever work I take in hand, I try to do it completely. Thirdly, sir, the sense of service. It is deeply rooted in my mind, sir, that I have to serve people wherever I live, whatever I do, sir.
That's good, Ramneek. I appreciate when you say empathy, dedication, and sense of service. But then, I'm a little confused because just now you said one of your weakness was procrastination, and dedication and procrastination don't go hand in hand. You also told me one of your weakness was consistency. You are not consistent in your approach. So, if procrastination and consistency are your weaknesses, how does dedication become a strength which can not make people say no to you?
Sir, actually, with the improvements, I have found that I am procrastinating those things which I found that are of not immediate importance. But I was not procrastinating in studies, sir. If I found something interesting and important, sir, I will not procrastinate. That is my conclusion based on my personal experiences. So, sir, that is my explanation for this.
Okay, good. Uh, Tell me, uh, does India, in your opinion, need a uniform civil code? Yes or no?
Sir, I think Supreme Court has recently said that government should work towards creating a uniform civil code. Sir, in my personal opinion, uniform civil code should come up, but only with the consensus of the communities that have been living in the country. Without consensus, sir, uniform civil code can be a damaging instrument for the social fabric of the country because sir already situation is very stretched due to some external and internal problems in the country.
I can see that you have very lofty ideals. Tell me, what do you plan to do differently so as to make a mark in the civil service?
Sir, I want to work for women empowerment, sir. Sir, I have seen in my own district that women are mostly doing jobs like nurses education like teachers and agricultural laborers mostly. They are not engaged in economic activities which are concerned profitable. So, sir, I will work for economic independence of women by encouraging self-help group culture and cooperative societies by making agriculture suitable for the women. Apart from that, sir, in leadership role, I will try to encourage women in schools and colleges itself. And whenever women is elected head of panchayats, I have witnessed that mostly their husbands and their brothers, their fathers are doing most of the work in their name. So, sir, I will try to capacity build that they can work themselves as leaders. They can better understand problems of women and other weaker sections of the society. And sir, apart from that, as situations may be different in different districts, different regions of the country, I will try to do as per the region. It is as per my recent knowledge, sir.
Okay, good. One last question, Ramneek, tell me. There was a very famous statement made by Albert Einstein when he said, strive not to be a man of success, rather try to be a man of value. What is your take on this?
Sir, I think when we strive to become man of value, then success will come. If not directly, indirectly it will come, sir. We may not join position of authority. It is not possible for everybody to join position of authority. But sir, we can serve our society wherever we live and whatever we do, sir.
Okay,
That-
good. Thank you very much, Ramneek.
Hello, Ramneek.
Hello, sir.
Ramneek, I was going through your zone preferences and some unusual variables are there. In some states, you have filled 90, it is showing 99. Why is that?
Sir, actually, when I was filling this gap form, sir, I was in my village and I saw many videos on YouTube, tried to gain information about filling up zones. Sir, I could not get enough information on that, and this is my mistake, sir, that I have filled that 99 with assistance of a senior candidate who is also preparing with them, sir. This is a mistake that I have committed. Sorry, sir.
So there is no justification for it, right?
Yes,
Okay. If given a chance, would you like to rectify it?
yes, sir. Why not, sir?
Okay. Ramneek, are you aware about Fibonacci series?
Sir, can you please repeat?
Are you aware of Fibonacci series in mathematics? Fibonacci series?
Sir, I cannot remember now.
Okay. Who is your real life idol, Ramneek?
Sir, as of such, I have no particular ideal, sir. But, sir, I take inspiration from a great range of people. Like,
Hmm.
I found Arjuna from Mahabharata very inspiring. And in the modern day world, I found Mahatma Gandhi very inspiring. Bhagat Singh very inspiring, sir.
Okay. What aspects of Bhagat Singh's life you do not admire?
Sir, Bhagat Singh was a revolutionary, and in his 20s, he has done a great deal of things. As an intellectual, I would admire him. But, sir, I would not admire Bhagat Singh for the violence, sir.
Okay. So do you believe that non-violence is the only way forward?
Sir, non-violence may not be the only way forward, but, sir, non-violence is mostly the way forward, sir.
And do you support violence in extreme situations?
Sir, situations actually, there are many situations which are extreme situations, and we have to recourse to violence, sir, for self-defense in war situations. So, sir, violence is also necessary for survival, sir.
Okay. Since 3 to 4 years, you are preparing for civil services. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Don't you think you could have utilized this precious time in supporting your family economically, as you come from humble background?
Yes, sir. Sir, I come from humble background, and my grandfather, my father, is completely engaged in agriculture. So,
Mhm.
sir, when I was in intermediate, there was a vacuum that my grandmother felt at home, that there should be someone to do household works, to serve people who come to my place. So, sir, I think from the last 3 to 4 years, I have been working with my grandmother and working with my grandmother and sir doing little household work. Sir, this is the only thing that I am doing nowadays, like brooming the house and serving people who come to my place, sir.
But you could have done a full-time job.
Sir, actually, I could not find opportunity to work here in my village, to work as a full time. And sir, my father was very keen to turn me to studies only.
Okay. Uh, what is your take on three farm bills?
Sir, these agricultural reform bills were introduced to alleviate the situation of agriculture in the country. But, sir, due to some misunderstanding, negotiation failures, and political motivations as said by government sources, there has been quite debate on the relevance and justification of these bills. Sir, I think reforms are very necessary in agriculture. Even if agricultural farm bills have been withdrawn, we need quite comprehensive reforms in agriculture, sir. But as we have the experience says, sir, now we need to go with the consultation process a little bit heavier rather than earlier.
Okay. In India, is bagging a criminal offense?
Sir, I don't think in Uttar Pradesh it is a criminal offense, sir.
In India as a whole?
Sir, I am not aware of it. Sorry, sir.
Okay. PSIR was your optional.
Yes.
Uh, do you think in the wake of Ukraine-Russia crisis, it is the right time for India to take back POK?
Sir, actually, this has been consistent position of India that Pakistan occupied Kashmir is an integral part of India. But sir, it is crucial time for India as well. Like the political situation in Pakistan is such that army will ultimately emerge as the strong institution in the country as a result of the no confidence motion that is being tabled in Pakistani National Assembly. So, sir, due to those situations and many strategic implications of this decision, I don't think this is a crucial time for India to take POK. Rather, it should be a thorough strategy, a thoughtful strategy. Only with that, sir, we can bring that back. But, sir, that has to be done, if not now, later on.
Okay. Thank you, Ramani.
Thank you, sir.
Ramneek, am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Ramneek, one last question before we wind this thing up. Can you hear me, Ramneek?
Yes, sir. Perfectly, sir.
Okay. If you have to highlight one quote that sums up your personality, what it would be? If there exists none, you can frame one.
Defeat is one step before victory, sir. Defeat is
Thank,
just one step before victory, sir.
thank you, Ramneek. Your interview is over. Stay connected. We will reconnect with you in some time for your feedback. Ramneek, uh, let me highlight the good things of your interview first.
Yes, sir.
You are very well organized in your thoughts. Your opinions are very balanced. You have great articulation skills. You organize your content well. You present your arguments in a diplomatic way. So all these things went in your favor. You appear very polite, decent, and your mannerisms were also fine. But Ramneek, this is a critical analysis. Hence, let us talk about those areas where I feel there is enough room for improvement. First thing, Ramneek, is the question that I asked you about empathy and compassion. Compassion any day is a higher value than empathy. It is the superset, and empathy is a subset. Empathy leads to compassion, not the other way around. Empathy is when you look at somebody's problems from their frame of reference. Compassion is that when you are eager to help that person so that the person comes out of his misfortune, grief, or sorrowness. So empathy precedes compassion. And when you are compassionate, it is automatically understood that you have already been empathetic towards the issue.
Okay.
That's why empathy and compassion both are foundational values for civil services. So I expected a better answer there. Your eyes were rolling all around the room. This creates an impression, Ramneek, as if you are confused.
Yes.
So when you are thinking, my advice to you would be to slightly lower your gaze and then think. It is the right way of giving the impression as if you're thinking in a formal environment.
Yes, sir.
This is, after all, a formal environment, right? Some of your answers were very good. Especially, I would like to highlight some of the answers that I liked personally. One where you had to talk about the leaders or the political philosophers whom you admire.
Yes, sir.
You balanced it very nicely with Aurobindo Ghosh on one hand and Karl Marx on the other. So you covered both the bases, very smart. And then you also criticized Marx for the right reasons. You admired Bhagat Singh, and yet you were not in favor of some of the stratagems adopted by Shahid-e-Azam.
Yes, sir.
Then you also batted for non-violence, but you also held that national interest is paramount. Your answer on farm bills were very balanced. Your answer on POK was very good. When you talked about how, what are the weaknesses, and one of your weaknesses was procrastination, but you highlighted that you do not procrastinate things which are of immediate requirement, only those things which are long-term in due. When it was asked that why you are not working, you said that you are helping your grandmother and everybody in your family wants you to do something. So you were the torchbearer of collective aspiration. This is the impression that we derived.
Sir, is this a good position?
This is a good position till the time this is the honest answer.
This is the honest answer, sir.
This is the right answer, right? This is the truth. Speak the truth. There should not be any shame in speaking the truth, right? It's a collective aspiration and I'm trying very hard for it. Use such kind of words, right? It is not my dream, but my family's dream. And I think that not only I'll be helping in nation building, but I'll also help in the social and economic improvement of my family members. But the answers were, Ramneek, terribly long.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes I had to cut you in between.
I
Do
felt
not give such kind of long answers. You're not writing a mains answer, beta.
yes, sir.
Right? देखो इंटरव्यू में आपको 1 से 2 मिनट मिलेगा बस, उससे ज्यादा कोई नहीं रुकने वाला. It has to be a 30-35 minute odd affair, right? So come up with your best point as your first point. Do not hold it for the last, because you might not get the opportunity to complete the entire thing. You were building a background for everything before you could answer. Like I asked you that which are the 3 important values. You said there are many values. I've never asked that. I know there are many values. Everybody has a value set. Just highlight what has been asked, right? Suppose there's a crisis like of situation, your senior has called you and wants to take some information कि बताओ ग्राउंड पे क्या हो रहा है, राइट्स हो गए सुनने में आया, तो आप बोल रहे हो कि हाँ बहुत तरह के प्रॉब्लम्स हैं ग्राउंड पे, लेकिन उनमें से एक प्रॉब्लम राइट्स भी है आज का, वो तो फोन रख देगा. Do you get that? So try to improve on that part. Voice modulation, you have to work on that area. You were speaking as if it was a monotonous affair. मतलब कहीं पर जब आपको कुछ वर्ड्स पे स्ट्रेस देना चाहिए, so always put those words. And if it is a question where, like I asked you, what are the problems faced by the farmers in Muzaffar Nagar? So this should bring a concern over your face, because these problems are real problems and on ground. You want to go into the services, and one of your major roles is the delivery of social justice, right? So these kind of things should be very important to you. Then when I asked you one question, that what kind of principles do you keep in your mind to ensure objectivity when you're writing your diary? What did you answer? You answer that how you manage to read your diary again and see that whether things were objective or not. I was asking you something about pre-diary writing. You were answering me something about post-diary writing.
Yes.
Means you are looking at the things. I am asking you what principles. So one principle you could say that I make myself a witness to my actions.
Yes.
And try to evaluate my actions outside my existence. So that not necessarily physical existence, but psychological existence. So that you get a good idea. Otherwise, Ramneek, I feel that you are a brilliant candidate. This is your which attempt? This is your first attempt? Is this your first attempt? Yes, and you are very young. You're only how much? 22?
22. Yes.
22, very young. You come from a humble background and you have worked really hard to reach to this position. And my best wishes are with you, son. I feel that you are cracking it this time. But take this feedback positively, work on these areas, and definitely there would be a quantum jump in the marks that you would get finally. That's my feedback.
Yes.
Sir, you would like to add something?
Yes, Ramneek, a very strong session, let me tell you. Very strong, and I really appreciated some of your answers. I felt, what you lacked in Josh, you covered up with your honesty. So there was a little bit of a monotonous, monotone in your voice. So that was a little irksome. थोड़ा चुभ रहा था वो. So a little bit of variation in the voice modulation would definitely make a world of good to you. You sounded too soft. Don't be so soft, right? There has to be, you sounded as if you were on the verge of submission. So don't be so soft. You have to be a little authoritative. So the voice has to be slightly raised, and it has to be, the modulation has to be there, so that you don't give the feeling कि यार मैं कोई लोरी गा रहा हूँ.
Okay, sir.
Right? Then you covered up beautifully. When I try to check you up on the point of the strengths and weaknesses की बात की, then I talked of your when you talked of that was procrastination. You covered up beautifully, very nice. But yet there was one place you fell short. When I said 5th of October was Teachers' Day, you fell for it and you said Teachers' Day. Teachers' Day is on?
The 14th of September, I think. 5th of September.
5th of September. So remember, one thing which is very, very important that you have to keep in mind is listen to the question very, very carefully before you start answering. That could be the difference between the right answer and the wrong answer. right? You have a wonderful chance of making it, and believe me, when is your interview, by the way?
Sir, 11th of May.
You have adequate time. You have more than 40 days, right? You have more than adequate time to prepare, improve upon your bring a little bit of authority in your voice, and get the monotone change to a little variation in your voice. And with the other points that I've been told about, I think you are going to make it. All the very best here.
Thank you, sir.
Sagar.
Ramneek,
Yes, sir.
Ramneek, see, as rightly highlighted, your strengths are that you come from humble background. Your answers are well articulated. They are balanced. Your PSIR questions were also handled very well by you. You sound very honest in your answers. And at many places, you accepted your weaknesses as well as your mistakes, just like the cadre question. So just tell me who advised you to do that?
Sir, actually, there was a senior candidate who is also preparing. So
Uh,
he told me that you can fill them. They are not good states, sir. Sir, sometimes, sir, I don't know what is that, but sir, that was a mistake that I committed, sir.
so that was rightly accepted by you that it was a mistake, and given a chance, you would like to rectify it. So the same kind of answer should be presented by you in actual interview as well, if asked a question on that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Some improvements are required, Ramneek, especially as sir highlighted in your speech and voice. मुझे ऐसा लगा पर्सनली रमणीक कि आप बहुत स्लो बोल रहे हैं. जैसे सपोज मैं आपके जैसे बोलने की कोशिश करता हूं, आप ऑब्जर्व करिए. रमणीक, आपका इंटरव्यू बहुत अच्छा था, इसमें कुछ कमियां रही. देखिए, आप समझ रहे हैं कितना स्लो है. ठीक है, तो इतना स्लो बोलने से क्या होता है ना कि सामने वाला इंटरेस्ट लूज कर देता है. ठीक है, तो इसके ऊपर थोड़ा काम करिए, और जैसे सर ने बोला थोड़ा वॉइस मॉड्यूलेशन भी करिए. एट प्लेसेस वेयर एम्फेसिस इज रिक्वायर्ड ऑन अ पर्टिकुलर वर्ड, उस पर थोड़ा स्ट्रेस दीजिए. ठीक है, अपना पिच थोड़ा वेरिएशन करिए, वॉइस मॉड्यूलेशन करिए, थोड़ा सा तेज बोलिए, तो उससे आपका कम्युनिकेशन और अच्छा हो जाएगा रमणीक. ठीक है, आपने बहुत जगह पे एट मल्टीपल प्लेसेस यू आंसर लाइक when sir asked you about how or tell me 3 values you espouse. Sir, I have many values, but there are 3. And that was not a single instance where you did that.
In every,
You did at multiple places. Okay, so focus on what is being asked and answer that portion only. Don't drag it unnecessarily. Okay, Ramneek, and we all have hunch this time that you are going to make it. Okay, just have confidence and be assertive in your communication. That's all.
Shaving. Ramneek,
yes, sir.
have you shaved today?
No, sir.
So do not do that. And when you are attending a mock drill, see, even the soldiers, once you aspire to go into the defense forces, right? Even the soldiers, they do a full dress rehearsal because it has a psychological impact. So next time, keep this in mind that even in mock drills, you should be fully shaven.
Yes, sir.
One question which I wanted to ask you, that when I asked you name some types of republic, and I give you a hint also that India is democratic republic, you surrendered in a jiffy. मतलब आपने थोड़ा वक्त भी नहीं लिया. आपने बोला I cannot remember any other kind of republic. Are you not aware about People's Republic?
Sir, actually, I was thinking of China and Russia. But sir, I thought that better to have an answer, good
Okay.
answer.
Are you aware about People's Republic?
Yes,
Kind
sir.
of republic. Are you aware about Islamic Republic?
Yes, but sir, Islamic Republic was not in my mind. China was in my mind at that time.
See, even if you do not know the answer, you surrendered too quickly. ऐसा लगा जैसे जिस चीज का आंसर आपको आता है उसके लिए तो आप वक्त ले रहे हैं, जितना चाहिए उससे ज्यादा ले रहे हैं, सब कुछ बता रहे हैं. मतलब आप इतना बोलने लग गए थे कि आपको रोकना पड़ा कि रुक जाओ, अभी और भी है इंटरव्यू, है ना. स्पीच तो नहीं है. तो आपसे जितना पूछा जाए वो उतना एकदम शॉर्ट में रखिए अपनी बात, जिससे अच्छा लगेगा, नहीं तो फिर इंटरेस्ट चला जाएगा। जरूरी नहीं सबको इतना इंटरेस्ट हो पॉलिटिकल साइंस में जितना आपको है।
ये सर।
ठीक है रमनीक, आप कुछ पूछना चाहते हैं बिफोर आई डिस्क्लोज योर मार्क्स?
सर आप बता दीजिए।
हमने तो हाईलाइट कर दिया जो कमियां हमें महसूस हुई।
जी।
मैं बस ये कहना चाहूंगा कि आप कॉम्प्लेसेंट मत होइएगा, अपनी हेल्थ का ध्यान रखिएगा, करंट अफेयर्स और डैफ पे फोकस रखिए, क्योंकि मोस्ट ऑफ द क्वेश्चंस यहीं से आने वाले हैं। ओपिनियन बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस को कभी मत छोड़िएगा, फैक्ट बेस्ड पे आप ना बोल सकते। इंटेलेक्चुअल डेप्थ, डिसीजन मेकिंग कैपेबिलिटी, ability to form opinions, balance of thought, alertness of mind, how compassionate you are, and to what extent you radiate positivity. These are the things that are ultimately evaluated in a personality test. This is not a test of your knowledge that has already been done.
Yes, sir.
It is a test of your personality. What kind of person are you? Whether you are a fit or a misfit in the administration, whether you could be trained or you couldn't be.
Sir,
यही देखा जाए।
that I wanted to ask, sir. When you asked about my 2 entries that were completely void, I handled it correctly, or sir, some improvements are needed?
देखिए, एक तो मैं आपको बता देता हूँ कि वो जो आपकी एंट्री है स्पोर्ट्स एनसीसी वाली,
Yes, sir.
उसमें आप बताइए, शायद आपके फॉर्म में भी आया होगा कि स्कूल लेवल, कॉलेज लेवल, यूनिवर्सिटी लेवल, वहां पर होना चाहिए कुछ, तो आप बताइए उस लेवल पे था नहीं, इसलिए मैंने नहीं भरा। पोजीशन ऑफ डिस्टिंक्शन लीडरशिप हेल्ड इन स्कूल और कॉलेज, आप ये बोल सकते हैं आई ट्राइड ऑन मेनी ओकेजन्स बट आई वॉज नेवर सिलेक्टेड, या मुझे मौका नहीं मिला। सिलेक्टेड ऐसा वर्ड मत यूज करिए, आप ये बोलिए कि मैंने कोशिश बहुत की बट मुझे मौका नहीं मिला, आई डिडंट गेट द अपॉर्चुनिटी बट आई। तो ये देखा जाता है कि व्हाट काइंड ऑफ लीडरशिप स्किल्स हैव यू लर्न। आप ये कह रहे हो कि मैं गांव में ही हूँ, बहुत सारे लोग हैं जो गांव से निकलकर बाहर काम भी कर रहे हैं
Yes, sir.
और साथ में तैयारी भी कर रहे हैं,
Yes, sir.
बट आप अपने कंफर्ट जोन से बाहर नहीं आना चाहते, ऐसा लग रहा था।
Yes, sir.
तो आप ये बताइए कि मैं कैसे मल्टीपल लोगों के साथ एंगेज होता हूँ। जैसे आप घर पे ही आपने बताया बहुत सारे लोग आते हैं जिनको आप यू हेल्प योर ग्रैंड मदर इन अटेंडिंग दोज गेस्ट्स, सो हाउ यू इंटरेक्ट विद दीज पीपल, हाउ यू लर्न अबाउट द प्रॉब्लम्स एट द ग्राउंड लेवल, हाउ डू यू एंगेज योर सेल्फ इन कम्युनिटी डिस्कशंस। क्या आप कभी कोई ग्राम सभा में गए हैं, ये बताइए। होगा तो मैं आपको एडवाइस करूंगा एक बार ग्राम सभा मीटिंग चले जाइए, एक बार पंचायत विजिट करिए, ये फर्स्ट हैंड एक्सपीरियंसेस आपको बहुत काम आएंगे। एक बार प्राइमरी हेल्थ केयर सेंटर चले जाइए, देखिए क्या हो रहा है, फॉलोअप क्या है कोविड को लेकर, आंगनबाड़ी वर्कर्स, आशा वर्कर्स, इनसे जरा बात करके देखिए। तो इससे पता लगेगा कि आप भले ग्राउंड पे हैं, मतलब भले आप रूरल एरिया में हैं, बट आप डिस्कनेक्टेड नहीं है रियल इश्यूज से।
Yes.
और कुछ आप पूछना चाहते हैं?
यही सर क्वेश्चन थोड़ा मुझे लग रहा था।
ठीक है रमनीक, as far as this performance was concerned, the board has awarded you 180, which is excellent, but do not allow complacency to creep in. We feel that you are a 200 plus candidate if you work on these areas.
Really, sir?
Yes, we feel so, right? And we are not just trying to enthuse you unnecessarily, but by looking at your struggle and by looking at your effort and hard work and balance of thought, we feel that, and you're very young. UPSC prefers young candidates because they can serve long in the administration. I hope that you will maintain your integrity.
Yes, sir.
And I also hope that you will maintain your honesty like you have maintained today, but work on these areas better.
Yes,
right?
sir.
Maybe 5 marks have been awarded you extra because of your honesty. But if you do a strict evaluation, maybe this will drop down to 170 odd, 70, 75. Right? But 5 marks extra for your honesty. So keep this thing in mind and work hard. Do not allow complacency to creep. All the very best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
All the very best, Ramneek.
All the best, Ramneek.